All right, couture crafters, let's get into these purple swatches. The first one I'm going to do is the Shades of Purple swatch set. I am using the Ranger spray and the Ranger scrubby. It's got like a little scrubby on the other side of this little pad here. So I'm just spraying it and trying to get off whatever color residue was on there from before. With these inks, you have to be really careful because they will stain and stay on your ink, your stamp pad forever. It seems like if you do not use a cleaner between colors, you're going to get some contamination for sure. I hate that I did it in the order that I did this in. I really should have started with my yellows first. That should have been the first thing that I did. But no, I started with gray, then I went to my blue collection, then I went to my greens, and now I'm doing purples. So again, we're doing the Shades of Purple set, and I'm putting the swatches facing left at the bottom and the top of my misti. I have a video that shows you how I set this up to do these swatches. And now we're just taking the ink pad and we're making sure that we are getting the stamps nice and coated with the ink. And then we'll close it. So we're stamping the bottom and the top left corner right now. Because this is a layered stamp set, and Altenew does great with layering inks, I have 4 stamps in there that all layer together. So you're going to see me moving the swatch card around. And the bottom left one, I'm going to just keep replacing. You'll see as we go along. I'm hoping that this makes sense. This is the Jennifer McGuire technique. And when I saw her do it, I really didn't get it. So I figured I'd do a couple of videos showing you how it works. So you see that one? I just moved it up to the 2-inch mark so that it stamps on the next stamp set, the next layer. And then I replaced the bottom left one so that I get a new color swatch. So I'm doing 2 at one at a time. And I'm also putting little stickers on my stamp pads so that I can easily see the colors from the outside. So we're going to close it. And you see I'm the 2 stamps, the one in the top middle and the bottom left. And now I'm just using this little bitty stamp on these labels so that I can label the side of my ink pad. So we're really taking care of 3 things at one time. We're taking care of the layering stamp set. We're taking care of just regular swatching with the little circle. And we're taking care of labeling the ink pads as we go. I hope this is making sense. I was confused at first. I was like, what is happening? So if you look to the left, you see 2 circles. And then you see that my flower is starting to have more depth. That's one of the cool things about layering stamp sets is that you get a more realistic version and you get to play with your stuff. I'm prepping my stamp here just to make sure I get a really good impression on the next color with a white eraser. So you just put the eraser on there and then dust off the little eraser bits with your hand. And now I'm going to place the next color swatch card in the bottom left. And then we're going to ink up the stamp at the top that's closest to the swatch, which is going to be my 3rd layer. So right now we're on the 3rd color ink, and I've set that up so that I just line it up with the 4-inch mark. That's how I know that it's in the right place. These are 2x2 little squares, and with Altenew, Jennifer McGuire already has them already ready for you. All you have to do is print them out and cut them up. It took me forever to cut these, but that's okay because this is a process, and I knew it was going to take me a few days to get it finished and to do it, and I'm okay with that because once this is done, I'm going to be able to clearly see what color inks I have, which is going to make me a much better creator. So now I had run out of room, so I needed to move my swatch another place. So I put it directly in the center, and I'm lining that up with the 4-inch mark in the center. So now I'm going to ink that up and then ink up another swatch. This is the darkest color, and you want to go from lightest to darkest. And then we close it up. I go ahead and label the outside of my stamp pad here with that little bitty stamp. And again, on my setup video, I show you guys how what stamp sets I use and all that, and what labels I use. But they're just the little Avery labels. These are repositionable labels, which I don't like. I'd really prefer to have some that are not repositionable and just cut them down to size, but gotta use them up. And there we have it. So now I'm going to do another set right in front of my hands there. That one already has the ink pads labeled, so I don't have to stop and do the little stamp too. I'm going to spray and clean between these colors because I don't want any contamination. One set seems to lean a little bit more towards a blue purple, and the other one seems to be more towards a red purple, like fuchsias and stuff. So that's why I'm cleaning this off. I'm using a baby wipe, the scrubby, the stamp cleaner, the Gina K Designs towel. I'm using a lot of things to clean in between, and then I'm just using a regular little cloth here, which actually seems to kind of prime your stamp set the same way that that small eraser does. So again, my swatches are facing left. You see where the words are on the far left. So we're going to ink up the very first stamp and the swatch circle. Closing it. Giving it some firm pressure. And then we've got our first swatch. Now we're going to move it up to the 2 inch. And we're going to put another circle in the bottom left. I'm just wiping it off with a cloth in between. And I'm looking at the order to go in by those cards that come with the set. So if you buy a set from Altenew, you're going to get that card, and it's going to tell you what color is lightest to darkest. Actually, it goes from darkest to lightest, but you get the point. That's why those swatch cards are out. And I store the swatch cards with the stamp set, so I know what's in that box. So that was the second layer. Now I'm going to move that one up to 4 inches at the top right. And the bottom left, we're going to drop in another color. And we're just making sure we have good coverage. I'm making sure that's lined up with the 4. I'm not even using magnets. I'm like, whatever. It's in the general right vicinity. All I need to do is see how these colors layer up together. Even if they're not lined up perfectly, I'm okay with that. And now we're going to do our very last color. So I am just rubbing trying to get that excess ink off. That swatch circle is the one that's getting the most contamination because it's being touched by all the colors. But when you're down to the darkest one, it's kind of like, it'll be fine. And there's our darkest color in that set. And so I'm going to hit it with the spray because I know that I'm getting ready to go to a whole new color family. And I hate that I'm about to do yellows next because you know what happens when you mix purple and yellow together. But we'll see if I can't get these super duper clean. I might use another cleaner between this next set because I know that it's going to be an issue. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope this really helps, and keep following along with me. I'll probably do some more videos on me finishing up my swatches.